Well, it's time for some midsummer catch up, and we're doing it with Pitt coach Dan Fisher, who just got back from the Pan Am Cup in the Dominican Republic, where the USA team got the bronze medal. And Dan, just start with just the experience overall of coaching such an elite group of college and former college players.
Yeah, it's a great honor to do it. I'm glad Karch has asked me to do a couple of these things over the last few years, and this was a little different experience than the other groups I've coached. Normally when I've been involved with these, we have a 32-year-old captain that's been in a couple Olympics, and I think our oldest player for this one was 23, maybe 24. So this felt a little bit more like a college team. There was a lot of excitement because it was, I think, almost all of these girls' first international experience. So a good result, and also good to be back home.
Yeah, 5-0 in pool play, and then of course a tough one. You got to elimination rounds. I see you lost to Puerto Rico, beat Cuba. The thing that came out of Cuba and then an earlier match was how many aces and how dominant Micah Hancock was. And I throw it to that only because I think there are a lot of coaches in your position who would be pretty envious of getting to direct a team that had Micah Hancock and Lauren Carlini as your setters.
Yeah, going in, one of the things Karch asked me to see it was how Micah Hancock could do coming in as a double sub if her serve would be effective off the bench. And so we started out the tournament with Lauren primarily as the starter and Micah coming in as a double sub. And she was doing so well as a server that we ended up making the switch just so we could use that serve more. And I think they told me when we ended the tournament, she broke the all-time Pan Am Cup record by 20 aces. So, and it's a 15-year-old tournament, and these are some great players. So I think Karch got his answer about her serve internationally.
Yeah, and having two such poised, intelligent setters has got to make coaching really fun because they always say that setter's an extension of you on the floor.
Yeah, 4 years ago, I was an assistant for the Pan Am Cup, and our two setters were Alicia Glass and Carly Lloyd. And so 4 years later, they're both on the Olympic team. So I guess my best compliment I could say to these two young women was I have the same feeling now as I did 4 years ago, about them as people and competitors. And I think both of them have a bright international future.
You had so many players on that roster who were during their NCAA careers, are so poised. People like Megan Courtney from Penn State, Justine Wong-Arantes, a libero who just won a national championship for Nebraska, Brittany Howard from Stanford, who's just been through it all. That must have been kind of cool to have these young kids, but they're so experienced and mature as people and volleyball players.
Yeah, we came into our camp with 20 players, and originally thought it was going to be 14 that traveled. It ended up being 12. And, so it was a challenge just to figure out who we wanted to take. And, I went into it knowing full well that, of these 20 girls, these are girls that probably have never been cut from anything in their lives. So, the big picture is I'm pretty sure all of them will be invited back the next quad. The first year of a quad, Karch likes to look at a lot of players. So, but yeah, you're right. These were younger players, but certainly I think came in with a lot of experience. So it was a fun group.
Yeah, I mean, the roster's just, so loaded. I mean, looking at it, Ramad Al-Hassan and Alex Holston, both from Florida. You wonder why Florida's so tough up front. And Carly Wopat from Stanford, Nikki Taylor from Hawaii. I mean, Taylor Simpson from Colorado, not mentioning, I mean, I can't mention everybody, but it must have been really fun to have those kind of weapons at your disposal. And so let me ask you, from all of that, what do you bring back as the coach at Pitt? Anything in particular that you get going into this season?
I bring back, probably the most from the other coaches I work with. And I was able to work with Heather Olmstead at BYU again, who for the second year in a row, John Newman-Gonchar from Arkansas, and Arkansas State, our Tristan was our scout. So, I learned new drills. We spend hours scouting together. And then, of course, before when the training Karch is around and I'm picking his brain. So we have our staff meeting here at Pitt coming up, and I always ask my staff to come in with some new ideas, but I have a little advantage. I come in with a laundry list of things I want to do going into season. So, yeah, it's a big learning experience for me.
No, that's really good. All right. It wouldn't be fair to have the Pitt coach on to talk just about the Pan Am Cup. So very quickly, what do we expect out of the Panthers this year? If I recall last year, first 2/3 of the season, you were right up there, and then it got tough. And but you've got a potentially really good club returning.
Yeah, we've been in the top 50 RPI the last 2 years in a row. So certainly our goal is to make the tournament this year. I like our team. We're going to have good ball control. We're going to play good defense. There are a lot of unanswered questions about who's going to kill the ball. So it'll be a fun training camp to see who emerges, especially in our right side position. So got a few foreigners coming in, and it's going to be a battle.
Well, we'll keep an eye on you, and I imagine there might be a couple of times this season where you go, wouldn't mind having a couple of those kids from that Pan Am Cup, or you'll be playing against them as well.
Yeah, well, you're asking about the depth of the Pan Am team, and it's something that in our bronze medal match, I had hardly played Taylor Simpson the whole tournament, and after the first set, we put her in on the right, and she played almost a perfect game. So that was one of those moments I think I'll probably look back at when I'm at Pitt and go, hey, where's my Taylor Simpson just to put in? So yeah, it'll be fun. It'll be a fun year though.